The internet is on absolute fire right now, an entire storm of hashtags, live reactions, and late-night threads. Screenshots are flying faster than anyone can track. And at the eye of this hurricane? Two names the whole timeline cannot stop screaming: Rasheeda and Yandy. What started as a few shady comments has exploded into one of the messiest confrontations of the year. Imagine it, Rasheeda stepping into that room, camera lights low, tension so thick it felt like every breath might shatter it. She walks in calm but blazing, like someone carrying a storm behind their eyes. People in the live chat say you could see the weight on her shoulders. And when she finally locks eyes with Yandy, silence, so sharp it cut through the air like broken glass. Then the confession drops. No filters. No PR spin. Rasheeda admits the constant swarm of online attacks has been eating at her every single night. Every scroll on her phone felt like thousands of voices hurling shade, daring her to crumble. She tells Yandy she could not let the pressure cook any longer without facing the woman she once called a sister. But this was not just an apology. Oh no, this was a battlefield dressed as a conversation. As Rasheeda speaks, social media explodes, clips spreading across TikTok in real time, X, Twitter, users posting "I knew it," and Instagram lives dissecting every breath. Millions were watching a friendship turn into breaking news. And then the real betrayal spills out, detail by detail. Rasheeda had not only thrown passing insults, she went straight for the jugular. Body-shaming Yandy in public, mocking her figure, even making disgustingly personal remarks about how she smells. Fans call it below the belt, a calculated hit meant to humiliate. Screenshots of those comments are everywhere, and people are furious. But she did not stop there. Rasheeda doubled down, claiming she practically made Yandy career, that she is the one pulling the strings on every paycheck and decision. Viewers were gasping. Because everyone knows who really owns that show, and it is not Rasheeda. Yet she said it anyway, like she wanted the entire industry to burn. And just when it seemed like it could not sink deeper, whispers of secret meetings crash onto the feed. Rumors of late-night link-ups with Jasmine and Kirk, plotting in the shadows. Screenshots hint at private group chats, hidden meetups, and double crosses that sound like something out of a streaming drama. The betrayal feels cinematic, except it is painfully real. Through it all, Yandy sits there, unflinching, every second of silence dragging millions of viewers closer to the edge of their seats. People are typing in all caps, demanding answers, predicting who will clap back first. No one can look away. Because this is not just celebrity gossip. This is friendship set on fire, live-streamed for the world. And tonight, everyone is waiting for the next twist. Just when everyone thought the storm had peaked, a darker layer of the story ripped through the internet, an angle so sinister it had even seasoned gossip watchers clutching their screens. This was not just about shady comments anymore. According to furious fans and behind-the-scenes whispers, Rasheeda was engineering an entire covert operation, using Jasmine as her silent weapon. Allegedly, Rasheeda had been coaching Jasmine step by step, feeding her private intel and provocative ideas on how to confront Yandy in the most explosive way possible. Fans on every platform, from late-night TikTok lives to heated Twitter spaces, painted a picture of Rasheeda moving chess pieces in the dark, a puppet master smiling for the cameras while her strategy unfolded. Screenshots of secret DMs allegedly leaked, fueling the fire and making it feel like a full-scale reality show coup. And it was not only about TV ratings or petty payback. People swore Rasheeda's deeper mission was far more personal, to sabotage Yandy marriage. Theories poured in like a flood. Commenters accused her of whispering poison into Jasmine's ear, nudging her to start chaos that would make Yandy look weak in front of her husband. Entire Reddit threads popped up overnight, calling it one of the coldest reality TV betrayals in recent memory. Viewers who had followed the drama from day one could barely believe how far the plot had stretched. What began as a war of words now looked like a carefully wired trap, a behind-the-scenes power grab disguised as entertainment. And the motive? Fans speculated endlessly. Was it pure jealousy? A hunger for more spotlight? Or something even more complicated, something nobody had yet uncovered? As the theories got wilder, the receipts grew heavier. More insiders claimed that Jasmine was never just an innocent bystander. She and Kirk, according to whispers, had been in cahoots with Rasheeda from the start. And everyone close to the set allegedly knew who was really pulling the strings: Rasheeda, orchestrating a multi-layered storyline while Jasmine played the public face of the chaos. Then came the night everything unraveled. When the truth finally cracked open, it was like a bomb going off in real time. The entire cast froze. The revelation that Rasheeda had been guiding Jasmine's every step hit like a shockwave. Social media caught it instantly, comment sections igniting with all-caps outrage. Fans did not hold back. "We all know you now, Rasheeda. You are shameless for coaching Jasmine against Yandy and Mendices just to wreck a marriage." The hypocrisy only poured salt on the wound. Viewers reminded Rasheeda, over and over, that Jasmine herself is Kirk's baby mama. How could Rasheeda throw stones about Yandy marriage while her own circle still burned with unresolved drama? The irony lit up every feed. Memes exploded. People called it throwing shade while living in a glass house, and the phrase trended for hours. Pressure mounted like a tidal wave. What began as a sly backstage scheme had mutated into a public inferno. Producers started asking hard questions. Fans swarmed her DMs and flooded her name across every hashtag. In that moment, Rasheeda seemed to realize the game had spun far beyond her control. The scandal was no longer entertainment. It was reputation-level damage. And then, the twist no one saw coming. Rather than hide, showed up. Calm but unnervingly serious, she walked straight to Yandy to face the fallout. Witnesses say you could feel it in the room, the silence that signals there is no escape left. Rasheeda admitted, on camera and in front of the cast, that the entire mess had grown darker and uglier than she ever meant. She owned her part in the drama, saying she would not let it spiral any further. The set went silent. Fans online went into overdrive. Some said it was far too late, that the damage was permanent. Others cautiously gave her credit for finally stepping forward. Either way, the internet is still boiling, waiting to see what burns next. Comment sections read like cliffhangers. Is this the end of the feud or just the start of a new chapter? One thing is certain, the conversation is far from over. The moment Rasheeda stepped through that doorway, it felt as if the entire internet took a breath and held it. Across timelines and group chats, you could almost hear the click of millions of phones as people tuned in to witness what many were already calling the confrontation of the year. This was not a casual meetup. This was a reckoning. She walked in with a quiet storm in her eyes, calm on the surface but carrying a hurricane underneath. Without waiting for anyone to break the silence, she locked eyes with Yandy. No camera trick could fake the gravity of that gaze. Rasheeda spoke slowly, every word like a confession echoing across the room. She admitted that every scroll on her phone had become a battlefield, fans throwing shade, strangers dissecting her life, timelines filled with relentless noise that turned ordinary days into pressure cookers. I cannot keep letting this heat build up without setting things right, she told Yandy. The sentence landed like a gavel strike. She explained that the criticism and hate were not just comments anymore, they felt like walls closing in, threatening to turn public opinion into permanent exile. The weight of those words pulled the room into absolute stillness. Even the crew members behind the cameras seemed to freeze, knowing they were capturing more than entertainment. They were catching raw, unfiltered reality, but this was more than a televised apology. Rasheeda's tone carried the heavy acknowledgement that her own ego had become an accomplice in the chaos. She confessed that chasing online buzz had tempted her to throw words sharper than knives. Each offhand jab, each slick remark for clout, had turned into a weapon cutting deeper than she ever intended. And she knew that people were not only watching this exchange live, they were replaying every old clip, every subtle dig, piecing together a timeline of hurt. The internet had receipts, and it had already been busy. For weeks, fans had been resurfacing videos and screenshots showing Rasheeda's long pattern of shade. Some argued she had finally said out loud what insiders had whispered for months. Others fired back, calling her actions calculated cruelty. Comment sections became battlegrounds where alliances shifted by the minute, hashtags multiplying like sparks in dry grass. What stoked the flames even higher were the direct hits Rasheeda had already thrown. She had not just teased Yandy, she had gone for humiliation, body-shaming her figure, joking about her scent, even hinting that Yandy business deals were less than clean. Those accusations spread like wildfire, igniting every group chat and gossip page. Once that kind of rumor catches fire online, there is no pause button. And so, when Rasheeda finally faced Yandy, it was more than a meeting. It was a collision of every whisper, every meme, every late-night theory that the internet had been feeding on. Cameras zoomed in on the smallest details, Yandy steady breathing before she replied, Rasheeda unwavering stare, the nervous movements of producers who knew this was ratings gold. Yet beneath the spectacle was something more haunting, a human moment where clout and cruelty collided. In that silence after her confession, it became clear that Rasheeda was not only speaking to Yandy. She was speaking to the entire digital world that had cheered, laughed, and shared every cutting clip. Her words became a mirror, reflecting how quickly entertainment can turn into emotional warfare. And as millions watched, the question hung heavy, was this the first step toward healing, or just another twist in a scandal that refuses to end? The internet did not sleep. As the live clip rocketed across feeds, comment threads became digital battlegrounds. Some fans tried to embrace hope, posting, "Okay, she owned it. That is growth." Others fired back like verbal firecrackers, "Too little, too late. Damage done." By dawn, think pieces and late-night vlogs flooded every platform, bloggers dissecting every pause, YouTubers zooming in on every flicker of Yandy calm nods, micro-expressions slowed to frame-by-frame analysis. Meanwhile, behind the glitter of viral clips, panic rippled through the production team. What had begun as a quiet sit-down now pulsed like a ratings earthquake. PR managers drafted emergency statements. Sponsorship calls went on hold. Storylines, brand deals, entire seasons were suddenly at stake. And yet, Rasheeda eerie calm kept millions glued to their screens. Viewers expected the classic reality TV counterpunch, a clapback loud enough to trend. Instead, she stayed deliberate, almost surgical. She spoke of accountability as if she had been waiting years to understand the weight of that single word. She confessed she had feared apologizing, terrified it would be read as weakness, as proof that she had cracked beneath public pressure. But then came the line that cut through every algorithm: strength is not doubling down when you know you are wrong. Strength is standing still and owning your mess. Within minutes, the quote became a viral emblem. People clipped it for reels, layered it over moody music, and turned it into digital posters of hard-won humility. But the most searing moment arrived when Yandy finally spoke. After a silence so deep it felt like the whole world held its breath, she answered with a voice both gentle and commanding. She acknowledged the apology but refused to let words become easy bandages. She detailed the hidden costs: family members woken by worried calls, sponsors asking cold, pointed questions, and young fans doubting if their role model was truly the woman they believed in. Forgiveness, she warned, is not a soundbite. It is a marathon. And it would be measured not by what was said on camera but by the actions that follow. What unfolded next shocked even the most jaded viewers. Instead of defensiveness or a dramatic exit, Rasheeda nodded with quiet resolve. She promised that her respect would now be proven through consistency, not captions. For the first time in weeks, the air in that room shifted, from sharp tension to something close to fragile peace. No raised voices. No walkouts. Just a heavy, unforgettable pause, as if everyone present knew they had crossed from spectacle into something painfully real. But outside those walls, the storm only grew. Memes bloomed within minutes, some lighthearted, others capturing the rare sincerity of the exchange. Entertainment giants reposted the clip with captions like, "Growth in real time," while other commentators asked the haunting question, "But is it enough?" The noise was unstoppable. Hours later, Rasheeda's phone still glowed like a warning light. DMs poured in, some grateful, some brutally skeptical. Fellow cast members texted with a mix of support and caution. Brands emailed polite but sharp reminders that trust, once broken, takes seasons to rebuild. That night, Rasheeda went live alone, her voice stripped of performance. She told her followers she was not asking for instant forgiveness. "I just want to move different," she said softly. "Let time show what words cannot." It was not a dramatic finale. It was something rarer, a fragile first step, broadcast to millions, in a world that almost never lets wounds heal off camera. And for a digital culture addicted to spectacle, that quiet ending may have been the loudest moment of all. Even after the cameras stopped rolling, the ripple refused to settle. Yandy chose a different kind of spotlight. Without once dragging Rasheeda's name, she used her platform to send a quiet but piercing message about boundaries, about protecting your peace and never letting outside voices define your worth. Fans called it the masterclass in taking the high road. She transformed what could have been pure chaos into a lesson in strength and self-respect. But in a late-night story, Yandy admitted softly that the hurt was not gone. Trust takes rebuilding. Healing does not follow a production schedule. By sunrise, the entire media machine had ignited. Blogs hailed it as one of the biggest reality TV turnarounds of the year. Hashtags like #Rasheeda and #YandyResponse dominated global trends. Opinion pieces debated whether the change was authentic growth or a perfectly timed PR play. Yet insiders who had actually been in that room insisted something about it felt different, an almost sacred stillness after weeks of noise, as if a door had cracked open toward reconciliation. Other cast members began posting subtle, cryptic notes of support, hinting that perhaps the group was ready to try trust again. Meanwhile, fans were relentless. Timelines refreshed by the second. Commenters dissected every angle, every behind-the-scenes rumor. Was the apology the final curtain, or just an intermission before the next storm? Would Rasheeda and Yandy ever create side-by-side again, or would this become one of those Cold Wars reality television is famous for, silent, but always ready to flare? No one could say. What everyone knew was that the story was still alive, every like and every think piece keeping the flame bright. And with producers quietly rewriting upcoming episodes, the next chapter was already in motion long before the cameras caught it. What had started as a few slick remarks had now transformed into a cultural flashpoint, a reminder that in the age of social media, words do not simply vanish. They echo. They trend. They carve themselves into careers. Rasheeda and Yandy names now pulse through every feed, proof that in the world of fame and fans, every ending is just the prologue to something bigger. But beneath that hopeful surface, the older wounds refuse to disappear. Rasheeda past jabs still throbbed through the conversation. She had not merely tossed a little shade, she had once declared herself the architect of Yandy's success, bragging that she gave Yandy the job and acted like she controlled the entire production. She claimed she was the one signing checks and calling every shot. The internet howled. Fans knew the truth about who really owned and produced the show, and it certainly was not Rasheeda. From there, the revelations only sank deeper. Whispers swirled of secret meetings with Jasmine and Kirk, far beyond friendly hangouts. Allegedly, Rasheeda had been coaching Jasmine, feeding her strategic details and bold ideas on how to confront Yandy in ways guaranteed to stir drama. Fans swore Rasheeda used Jasmine like a chess piece, plotting to uncover anything explosive in Yandy's personal life. And it did not stop there. Rumor after rumor claimed the entire plan aimed to shake Yandy's marriage itself, with Rasheeda whispering suggestions designed to make Yandy look unstable in front of her husband. It was the perfect reality TV nightmare, a puppet master smiling for the crowd while pulling strings in the dark. People online could not stop theorizing, was this about jealousy, revenge, or an insatiable hunger for spotlight? Whatever the motive, the vibe between Rasheeda and Yandy had grown so heavy it felt like a storm cloud hovering over every episode. Fans stayed tuned like detectives, waiting for the next drop of proof, the next shocking piece of tea. And then came one of the most startling behind-the-scenes moments yet. In a tense conversation overheard by crew members, Yandy reportedly pushed back when Rasheeda's circle suggested meddling in her private life. "Do not tell me what I am doing with my husband," she snapped, a single sentence that shot like lightning across the rumor mill. To fans, it sounded like the quiet war had flared again, a stark reminder that even after public apologies, the undercurrents of betrayal still run deep. But the deeper truth still waited in the shadows, and when it finally surfaced,